Hi, I'm Sherry Romano. I'm here to do a glass painting demonstration. I'm an artist in town. I live in Southbury. I paint on anything and everything. Find things at the thrift store and paint them. I paint on canvas, glass, shells, wood, furniture, anything. But glass painting is what I'm showing you today because it's kind of tricky. So first of all, you want to make sure that you start with a clean glass, which you wipe down with alcohol. And I'm gonna show you that in a minute, but I just want to show you the back of the glass is going to look like a big blob if you don't lay out your colors. So I didn't do all red and then put the black on top, because in the back it would look just all red. And it doesn't really matter, but it kind of looks better if you have something, like this doesn't matter because you can't really see the back of the paint. But just to keep in mind, when you're doing that, I put all the colors in my dragonfly. I put most of the colors down first so that it didn't look like a big blue blob when you look through it. So that's just one tip. So yeah, we want to wipe down our glass with alcohol. And if anybody has questions, feel free to ask. And I also have this paper here. You can come and take one, or I don't have a lot, but you can take a picture of it if you want to take it home and read about it. And also my card is there. So you wipe your glass down. And then if you're not like a painter per se, or you have trouble drawing things, you can print something out and stick it in here and kind of follow along. This is a little big for this, but on a bigger glass you would do this. You could tape it down and kind of trace it.
That's a good idea.
Which I can't do right now, but I will start with. So yeah, I just want to take. I'm gonna do a poinsettia. So I'm gonna take some red.
And that's just acrylic?
This is acrylic paint. It's craft paint. You don't need to use like really heavy duties, heavy body paint. Just craft paint is fine. And I'm gonna do just quickly. I'm gonna do a poinsettia. I darkened my red for the back leaves. And I just get it down. You're gonna do it in layers because it works better. It sticks to the glass better if you work in layers, like very thin layers. I'm gonna leave some middle open for the black part so that it comes through. I'm gonna put my black down, and I'm gonna put I need some water here. I'm going to put some of the lighter colors down too so that it doesn't look so blobby. So I'm gonna brighten up my red with some yellow. I'll mix a little bit of white. And I'm gonna put some of these colors in the middle so you can see it when you look through. And this is just a quick kind of demonstration, but I won't do the whole thing in front of you. But just to get some idea of, and then you don't want to use too much water. You want to dry your brush off, because if you start to go over this and it's watery, it's going to come right off. The more you brush on, the more it comes off, and then you just have to let it dry, and you do another layer. And in the beginning, you can take it all off. It comes right off. You can wash it down with alcohol and start again. Or if you have a little piece here you don't like, you can just kind of scrape it off, or with a little Q-tip, take it off. It's very easy. It just wipes right off. And so I'm gonna finish some of my leaves here. Put in some green.
Does it dry very quickly?
Yeah, acrylics dry really quickly.
Yes.
They also, people don't like them because they dry quickly. Oils doesn't ever dry to me. I'm like very impatient, so I like using acrylics because acrylics are just forgiving because you can either paint over it or it's easily painted over. So I'm doing some of my leaves just to get an idea of where my colors are. Some bigger leaves here. There we go, and then I'm gonna let some of that dry, and then I'll go over and do my details later on after it dries, but it dries really quickly. I mean, it just, I'm gonna put some of my yellow in there too because that just show through. This is my first layer and it looks very bad, but you're just gonna go over it and over it with, a couple of layers, and when it dries, it looks completely different. As you know, this is the same thing that I'm doing, and so once this dries and you do your layers, you're going to bake it if you can. If it's a large piece, you don't have to. Like, if you're not gonna be washing this all the time, you don't have to bake this first, but I do it anyway. So you want to bake this put it in a cold oven, turn it to the 350, and once it reaches 350 with them in it, you set the timer for 30 minutes, and then you shut the oven off and you let it cool completely before you take it out. And then once that's done and cool, then you take this, it's called dishwasher safe Mod Podge, which don't use regular Mod Podge, the orange label, but this one will bond after 28 days to your glass or whatever you're, doing. And it should be, I don't ever put these in the dishwasher. I hand wash them anyway, but once you do seal it, it like doesn't scrape off. You can wash it, no problem. I still don't put it in the dishwasher, but it's
one layer of the Mod Podge, let it dry in another layer?
Yes, I do like maybe 3 layers of Mod Podge, but it's super thin and easy to, and you just kind of go over it like, you just kind of go over like just over the edge, so that it like takes all the, just over the edge of the paint, where the paint is. And then it'll kind of look like it's a sticker on there. You'll see like a tiny film, but like don't go too much over the edge. But yeah, it'll just.
And what is it for again?
The Mod Podge will seal it so that you can wash it. And after 28 days, it bonds to your glass.
Why 28 days?
That's what it says. That's what it says. I'm following the instructions. But it says dry 2 hours between each coat. I don't think you have to let it dry 2 hours, but it'll cure after 28 days.
How many coats do you use?
I use 2 or 3, and I haven't had an issue yet with washing. But like I said, I wouldn't put them in the dishwasher anyway. But I definitely wash them like a regular glass. So that is pretty much it.
And did you say how long you've been doing this?
I've been doing this, well, painting on glass,
Yeah.
I've been doing for about 5-6 years. I just discovered how to do it. I don't even know how I got into it, but I just discovered that it was possible, because it's not like, it's not an easy thing. You have to be patient. You have to let it dry in between coats and everything. But after I discovered how to do it, and I just started. Yeah, it's just, yeah. It's a fun craft, especially these bottles. I put either fairy lights in, or I put, this is lantern little insert. So you can put lamp oil in here and, soak the top with the lamp oil too. And then, just light it, and you can put citronella lamp oil and have it outside in your, patio outside or your deck. And, or the fairy lights are nice table decoration for your
Very nice.
tables, and what else?
Do you sell this not only here, but other?
Yep, I
or
sell
other
at the
things?
cottage at Maine.
Oh, yes, cottage.
That's where I first started selling things.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I went in there and I was like, I have all these things that I made and I don't know what to do with them anymore. And so she's like, yeah, definitely. So yeah, I've been selling there for years, even before Tammy owned it. And then I also sell in a place in Chester, Chester near the water, you know, far away.
Last time.
Yeah, it's a really nice town. They have very nice shops. I sell an Atmosphere Arch One glass. So he's a glass blower. He makes all kinds of glass. So he's like, oh, you paint on glass, come and paint. He gave me a bunch of stuff to paint, and so I've been selling there too. And I put some of my paintings up in there too, and sold some. So yeah, it's been good.
Very nice.
Hi. So yeah. Does anybody have any other questions?
Could you use the same,
Yeah, no.
could you use the same technique on ceramic
Ceramics,
or
yes.
china?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Ceramics would be easier because you don't have to worry about it, being see-through.
Yeah.
So you just, paint away, and then you can bake that too, and you can seal it with the same Mod Podge.
And you said, bring it up to temperature.
Yeah,
turn it off.
definitely put it in a cold oven,
Okay.
then turn it to 350. If you want to take a picture of the directions, it's
Oh,
right
sure.
there. Yeah, and then 30 minutes at 350. Turn the oven off. Let it cool completely.
Let's screw that up.
Yeah, so definitely take a flyer or take the directions, or I only have like 3 of them, but take a picture of it if you don't. Yeah, or you can take one. What else? Yeah, definitely don't take it out too soon. I usually do it at night, so before I go to bed, an hour before I go to bed or whatever, I'll bake it and I leave it there till morning, and I know it's completely cool in the morning. So I just can't. I have to remember not to bake anything the next morning and forget that they're in there. Turn the oven on
You
again.
don't want to leave the oven on.
Yeah, no, I definitely have to set a timer to shut it off. And then I don't want to turn the oven on again in the morning by accident. But, yeah.
Okay.
I put things on a baking tray so they don't fall over, and just stick it in there. You can take out your oven racks so that it's just the bottom one, and, for the tall stuff. And, yeah, it's pretty easy. It's kind of like a, homemade kiln of some sorts. It doesn't need to be super high heat.
Yeah, interesting. Very
Yeah.
Perfect for holidays.
Yeah, thank you so
My
much.
name is David Walsh. I've been here for over 7 years in the village. I'm the president of the Brush and Pencil Club, and I've been an artist since 1975.
Oh.
So I haven't been doing art since then. Some years I didn't touch it at all. But I found a new love of doing this when I was deployed in Iraq. So I took a break for a little while. When I was deployed in Iraq, I was kind of bored when I got off duty. So I created some art and I gave it to our interpreter and his family members. So as a thank you for helping us. So this book right here, every single piece of art you see in here is a scratchboard piece of art. If you see color, it's either this ink or Dr. Martin's India ink. So you're welcome to look through at some examples of what you can do. It's typically a black and white medium. This is a pen and ink book. So it's the opposite of pen and ink. You start with white paper, you put the ink on. You start with black, and you take it off. So you have to think in opposites. So it's kind of hard. If you look at the, just as the example, this is in progress. This hay, where it overlaps on the elephant's trunk, or it's in the background, you have to scratch it so you can see it. So you can't scratch it all the way out, because otherwise, where's the other piece of hay? So it's kind of tricky. So, and over here, it looked like to me it was the field. So I just put grass. This is only the beginning of it. You scratch it, you add some diluted ink. This is black with water. You go over it, you scratch it. You do that multiple times, it creates depth, especially with color. This is my cat. Here's an example of a finished piece. That's my kitty.
Aww.
It looks like a photograph, it's so good, the detail.
Yeah, very detailed.
So for pets, it's perfect because you want that to look exactly like your pet. So how do you do this? You take a little, I have a little 5x5. This is Scratchboard. Okay, B-O-R-D. This is a piece of masonite coated with about 1/8 of an inch of kaolite clay, white clay, sprayed with Indie ink about 4 times in the factory. So what I did was I already prepped this feather. I took this picture of a feather, taped it with artist tape, because especially if I don't want to rip the paper, artist tape helps keep it. Just go over with a very fine pen, the outline. And everything in the middle is freehand. So if you think it's easy, it looks easy. A feather is actually pretty easy. But when I put this image on here, all I did was the outline. I traced an outline with a piece of paper taped to the top of it, a picture of Anaya. And all I wanted to make sure is the outline was there, the placement of the eyes, the nose, and the mouth was exactly where they should be. Everything in the middle takes a long time, probably about 30 hours.
Wow.
I estimated that it took to do this. Now this one's in progress. I don't know, probably it worked 5 hours so far
Wow.
to kind of make it look like this elephant in the picture. So it almost looks exact, but it's not quite, because I want to add my own little flair onto it. And then elephants are one of my favorites. I have a picture over there hanging up of an elephant. I love doing it. So the tools, other than the scratchboard that you have, which comes in 5x5, 5x7, 8x10, any kind of size you want, up to 16x20. And you notice I'm wearing these artist gloves because when I'm putting my hand on here, when I take this off, I don't want my oils
Right.
from my hand to get on this. Okay? Also, for fur, I use a fiberglass brush. This is a brush that when you scratch it away carefully, it creates the texture of fur. But when I clean it with this Velcro strip, if I do it too hard and it breaks away, and this fiberglass gets in my hand, it'll hurt. So that's why I like to do it in the studio, because then you can tap it with your face away. You don't want to get fiberglass in your hand or near your eyes. So that's a small one made in Germany. That's called the Earl tool. And this is just a bigger one, just a little bit. It's a dial up. There are multiple tools. Here's a set steel wire. You just dial it up. That's for fur. So I can scratch it away and it gives it looks like fur. Very easy. Instead of trying to take a razor blade or awl and doing the individual, piece of fur. Steel wire and brass, fiberglass, and then nylon. So I usually use the steel wire and the brass. Brass wire is a little bit softer fur. So razor blade, when you have these in your hands, a razor blade or an awl, you have to be aware of what your hand is doing. Don't go over here and scratch yourself. You don't want that. I use a file to make sure that this is nice and sharp, or your typical scratch tool with these nibs. Pointed nib, bigger type nib that fits right in here easily. So, for blending, how many people know what tattoo needles are? Some ladies get permanent eyebrows These are tattoo needles.
Oh my God.
These are 3 wires. And they come in these little surgically sterile things, because that's what it's for. It's for a tattoo. We just got started, Rich.
Okay, great.
This is for blending. So when I used to, if I wanted to do a blend area, I used to take a razor blade, and just like with pen and ink stippling, I would do that with this, with the tip of the blade, but you know, it takes forever. So you can do gradients. It's a lot easier doing it with this tattoo needle. You just take it like this until you get the right blending. So a lot of times it's for other like people. If you want to do pictures of people, I did a picture of a Native American, which worked out perfect. He had a bare chest, and right in this area it was perfect for that. And I can show you that in a little while if you want. So I've already prepped this. I put this feather on here. I went over with my pen, taped it. When you tape it, you do from the top, one side, and then you do the other side, you pull it. So that is as tight as possible. You don't want any, room in there for it to move. So you pull it from the back. And you might not be able to see, but I can see there's an indent of this feather in this board. And this is very simple to do. For anybody, a beginner. It's barely on here. You have to have glasses to see it. So. You have to have glasses. Plus you have to have a brush. That's not gonna scratch this. This is very soft. 40 thick blade. Make a brush. So, take this and you just barely touch it. You barely scratch. This is all about pressures. Taught my dad how to do this, and he did a couple of wolves, but he's digging in. You can dig in a little bit and use one of these inks. This is black Indian ink, and they call it black repair. And fix it, because there's looks like there's a scratch on top of that. That I probably did when I took the tape off. But you can fix it very easily. So pressures, it's as light a touch as you can possibly imagine. So this is not going to be exactly like the picture, but it's going to be my own interpretation of a feather. But it's very simple.
Is there white underneath that black?
It's kaolin clay.
Underneath the black?
Yeah, it's about 1/8 of an inch. That the factory puts on here, and then they spray it with Indian ink.
So what happens if you take off too much, David?
You just put this black repair on there, as long as you don't dig in too deep. Because then you'll see a gouge, and you don't want that.
So this is one of the utensils you're using is different than the other few that you have there.
Yeah, this isn't all that I sharpen. You can see a lot better.
Ooh.
All of a sudden it shows up.
It's beautiful.
It's also not in the middle of the board, because a lot of times when you do art, you don't want it exactly in the middle. It's off to one side a little bit. So I can go in there and I can just make it using any one of these tools to make it look.
I can see it from back there.
So it looks
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
from, it's almost like it just appeared.
Yeah.
But it was only a very, very slight indent. I probably didn't have to do that for a simple thing like this, but it's just easier and quicker.
Yeah.
Did he teach you?
But when you're doing a pet, you want it to look exactly like the pet. That's my pet. So if
So you
I,
buy those little boards like at Michael's or something? Campbell Squares, they're beautiful.
yeah, you can get probably at Michael's, you can get it on Amazon. Dick Blick is typically cheaper than
Do they
Amazon.
sell them in bigger sizes? It's a very
Yeah.
big one.
Third time.
Any size you want,
And they're
8
called
by 10.
Scratchboard? That's one piece in there, David? That's only one piece in there?
No, there's 3.
Oh, there's 3.
Yeah, this comes in, but it's, just so you know, if you're getting artist materials, go on Dick Blick,
This does.
because sometimes it's more expensive on Amazon.
It's wired.
Okay,
Really?
Dick Blick online, as opposed to going to Dick Blick in Plainville, everything is online. You may waste a trip like I did one day,
Blick,
trying to find
New
something,
York.
because you want to put this in a
Arts.
floater
This
frame.
is the one that's this.
This is, once I'm done with this, I sprayed it. It doesn't require glass. You could just put it in a floater frame or a frame without a glass because it's protected. Just like any other art though, you don't want it hanging in direct sunlight.
Right.
Okay, because one that I did from high school, what wasn't coated, was in sunlight, it peels. It'll peel away over time. But just like any art that you don't want it in direct sunlight.
So what do you coat it with?
It's a clear spray.
A sealer?
Yeah. I don't know exactly what you call it. I just know that I have the can. It's like a clear
Kind
coat,
of stuff.
like a clear coat spray. I can find out what it is.
Well, there's spray varnishes and spray Mod Podge.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different.
So I could use any one of these tools. I have to be careful with this because this is typically for fur. But this fiberglass brush will do the trick, but you just touch it barely.
Yeah, it's fun.
But it's very meditative. You put some music on, and before you know it, hours have passed, and you're like, wow, it's amazing. Jerry Lynn did a couple of pandas from this book, gave it to her grandmother, and they were fighting for it when grandma passed. Because the art is so good. And of course, pandas is black and white. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect medium. Just a matter of a few minutes with this simple one. And it looks like
Black and white is like,
more like a feather.
I mean, you can transfer as much or as little of the image as you want.
This is mostly for taking out more of this ink. But it's really, really good for fur. I used it for all kinds of animals, big cats, small cat, dogs, owls, you name it.
So David, you do watercolor, you do gouache, you do scratchboard. What else do you do?
Yeah, we've already been an artist since what, 50 years. Then I decided to go to Pear before they closed for 3 semesters just to use up the rest of my GI Bill to learn. See if I can learn more about art, and trust me, there's a lot more to learn about art than you can imagine.
So is the dust from what you're doing here a concern?
No.
No, like it's not like if some things I do, if I'm sanding, for example, let's say I'm sanding varnish.
I just don't breathe when I'm doing that. Just in case.
Brush it away.
It's anything that you
Don't brush it away.
that you dust, yeah, you brush it away from you. It's in the ink, so anything that you inhale like that is not good for you. So I just do it away.
But while you're scratching it out, it's not floating in the air? It's not
No.
that, it's not that kind of dust?
Nah, because when I'm scratching, it's not creating a lot of stuff flying up because it's very light. I would imagine if it's a bigger piece and you do something like one of these tools to scratch it out, it might go up in the air a little bit, but I always brush it away from me
So you mentioned high school before. Did you start getting interested during your high school years?
I did it in art class. I did a lighthouse with a spiral staircase, which is the one that started to peel away because it got into the sun.
Oh,
So it's under a frame right now, protecting it. It's like one of the first ones that I've done. So Jerry Lynn framed it for me.
When did you start teaching?
I only did one of these demos before in the studio. Because somebody was saying, why don't you do a demo about this? Because we like to do demos of watercolor or oil, or I had my professors come in to do oil demo. We have a lady that comes in, Susan. She does watercolor. We're gonna do a demo, an interactive demo in January, where we're all gonna do what she's doing, or like work on cards, either winter cards or Valentine's cards, because it's gonna be January. So I just did one of these one time, but I find that this is, if you have the time to do it, you have to do it a little bit at a time because you gotta take a break.
yeah, it would be
Right.
tedious after a while.
So,
I don't know if I have that kind of patience.
but you have to have really, really good lighting, so I have an architectural table at home. But when it comes to doing fur, I like to do that in the studio. Because not only does this dust get all over the place, and I gotta keep cleaning, but I don't want any of this fiberglass pieces to get on there and get in my hand. It's very easy just to take this. If I happen to scrape that and break those bristles, go like this in the studio. So it's not gonna get anywhere near me.
I can remember years ago when I was a teenager, when they came at Christmas time, they throw in that fiberglass stuff, which gave you a beautiful effect of why did it get in your hands.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
they
it's
call it
very careful.
angel hair.
Angel hair, yes.
and it hurts.
It hurts.
Because you're like,
I
you
think
keep
that's
scratching
kind
it.
of- Can't say now.
But this, you can put your hands on here and the oils won't get on the board. It's probably the same with watercolor or oil.
I never saw those, what are they, painter's gloves?
They're called artist gloves.
Artist gloves.
Yeah, you get them from Dick Blick. And then you have to figure out, well, where am I gonna put the highlight? Where's the light coming from? It's very easy to do. You just do a little bit more pressure, not too much. And then you could start to see it having some depth.
Oh, wow.
I just highlighted it a little bit more on that side, so it gives it a little bit more light.
Keeps coming
It's
alive.
amazing the effect.
So instead of it being flat, it's more
Depth.
Yeah.
3D. But it's just a simple feather.
So David, what I see is that you work all the way to the outside edge. So you don't leave any room for a frame. So do you always put it in a floating frame? You never leave like a margin on the outside?
No, not for one that is like this. It would have to be a flutter, so you can see the whole picture.
The same thing with the elephant, right? It's gonna have to be a floater.
Yes, but it doesn't require any glass. As soon as I spray it with the clear coat,
You're done.
it's like a DuPont or something. It's very common.
Yeah.
It
So you
gives it-
could leave a margin and put it in
Yeah.
a frame. Okay.
If I did it just like any other, like watercolor, where you tape it off, you already have a border, and you could have, you could put it in a frame, you could put whatever around it. But definitely, I could just leave it like this if I wanted to, and then make a print on a bigger piece of paper. But this is my kitty, so I'm not gonna do that. Actually, sometimes it's easier using white transfer paper instead of, your black carbon is gonna be black, but a white transfer paper will put a line,
Right.
and then it's easier than to put this on here if you gotta press down hard enough so there's a slight indent.
Right.
There's normally a bigger indent than that. Luckily, I'll be able to see it. But transfer paper is a lot easier because if I just, same
See,
exact thing.
I thought you drew it freehand.
No, I got this from a royalty-free image from a site online. I printed it and I cut it. Well, I printed it 5 by 5 and I cut it whatever exactly to this board and taped it. If I put a piece of transfer paper in between I don't have to press down as hard. It'll leave a line for me to scratch it out. And then eventually the line will go away, so you won't see that. So I don't draw it first. I take a picture of something. This was a picture my
That's what I
uncle
was gonna
took.
ask you, if you could take it from a picture, like I just showed you the picture of my phone and my cat, you could take it from a picture.
So the picture, if you have an animal, it has to be as clear as possible. So you can get, that's my kitty. See, that's my cat.
Yeah.
So that, my uncle took this picture, he's a photographer. It's crisp. So if you have, like I always tell people, give me the top 2 or 3 pictures of your animal, dog, cat, bird, whatever it is, and I'll pick one. Whatever's the best one, because I'm using razor blades and I'm using an awl for the fine lines to give it that detail. It takes a long time to do it though.
And does that picture that you use, does it have to be on any particular kind of medium? Or can it just be on photo paper or?
Just regular copy paper.
What, photo?
Printer paper.
Printer paper?
Yeah,
Okay.
just copy paper.
Unless you push it on and then
Unless it's bigger than the board. If it's like 11 by 17, then I'll go to Southbury Printing and have it printed. I say, give me a piece of paper that's gonna withstand me pressing down on it with a pen. Or if I use transfer paper, I don't have to worry about ripping it or pressing down so hard.
It's that the clay is just soft enough.
Yeah,
Can,
and the clay is very white
you're just taping it on, so.
compared to the black Indian ink. But then colors added. I use Dr. Martens, I didn't use these. These are made for this board.
No, something small is good.
Only 6 colors with the color chart that tells me how to mix the color that I want. But I have a 24 color set from Dr. Martens Indie Ink, where I could just mix them in little ink wells with water. Usually it's like 10 drops to a drop. You just dilute it down, and if you need a stronger color, you use 5 drops. It's just testing it, putting it on here. And because once you brush it on here with a regular brush, it's gonna leave like a little bit, you'll see like a little bit of a line. So you have to go back in there, scratch it, and then make it so the color is kind of underneath. Because fur is very hard to do. But there's like all these different colors in cats' furs, dogs' furs. So you don't see the line after you paint it. You just scratch it until you get the desired effect. And there's a shadow here. It's whiter here. And it goes all the way down across the top. So you just keep doing it until you're happy with it.
If somebody was doing a painting of a woman's face or something like that, and you wanted to put a veil over it, so you knew that she had a veil in front of the face, but you could still see the face, how do you do the veil without, screwing up the face while you're trying to put a veil?
Very carefully.
Very carefully.
It'll take a long time. There's the artist that I used to watch from New Zealand. She does this, and I don't know how many hours, but it's like, they're all lines. She would just do very, very tiny lines. So a veil, it's the same thing with a sculpture that looks like there's linen over the face. It's the same principle. You have to be very, very careful until you get the desired effect so you can see what's underneath.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just really small little lines, and it's hours. And you're like, wow, it's already been 3 hours. I better take a break.
It is a lot of fun.
Well,
Yeah, it's very
like for example,
Common.
if you were doing a painting, like the valleys and mountains, and you wanted to have a mist coming out of the valley, the
Yeah.
mist. How do you do the mist?
Yeah.
You can
Very
spray it
carefully.
on the end.
Look, Lou, you're really pushing the envelope here.
One of these tools can get the desired effect. If you look at any of these pictures in here, I'm sure there's a mist or something that's hard to do.
Yeah,
But like the bottle,
yeah, I just learned how to do simple things at this point.
yeah, that's,
Well, here.
well, thank you so much for coming and listening.
Yeah, no.
Thank you for a great demo, David.
All these things.